All right, people, I am back. I am probably. This is such a weird situation. Welcome back to you as well. Okay, so what we're going to do, people, is that we are going to watch the debate between us, and we will be talking about this. We will be covering this between us, but we won't show the video because it seems to get us banned whenever we try to do that. And until we know exactly what is happening, that seems to be the safe way to do this whole thing. So yeah. Now, what I've wondered is, yeah. So you're watching the same thing as I do, right?
I'm not on the thing yet, the Democratic debate yet. I'm spreading the video, so just a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's an idea. We can have the other thing in our little hangout, but you don't have to show everyone else.
Yeah. So in that case, I'll do this thing and this thing like that, right? Oh, but not like that, like this. Right? And now you can hear it, right?
No, I can't hear it.
Wait, if I go to a video with sound and I just do this, for example.
NBC made a point.
Yes, that works. I can hear.
Okay, but will that also be broadcast to the...
I don't think it will be a problem.
All right, I'll just try to check that for a sec.
I have to respond to because it's going to clarify a lot of confusion going on right now about winning elections. So here's MSNBC. They're asking.
Yeah, so the audio is actually going to
the Democratic establishment to win.
Okay,
check it out.
So the audio is going to appear in the stream, and I am not sure. Don't forget to add me. Yeah, no, I just looked at the private message. So yeah, it seems like the audio will be shared with the stream now, but we're not showing any video.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll work. If we get banned again, then we'll find a solution to it.
Yeah. Anyone have any ways of streaming this that won't get us completely banned from YouTube? It really shouldn't be this hard to do coverage of a debate. I mean, you'd think that they'd want people to be watching their stuff, but apparently no, reinforcing that we alone hold the power over the debate. And, no one else can be watching it on any other platform more important.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that if this doesn't work, I can try to stream it in DTube or DLive or whatever the name of the website is. It's not a website I enjoy too much, or I could do it on Twitch. Really. Not sure if that...
Would Twitch get us copyright striked as well?
I don't know, maybe, but the thing is, I don't really use my Twitch for much these days.
Neither do I. I mean, I haven't used it in an age.
Can we use StreamYard for Twitch, or do I have to use OBS? If anyone knows, then please tell me. Oh, we have 0 watchers right now.
Yeah. Well, probably because our things keep getting banned. Who wants to watch something that keeps getting banned?
Yeah. Well, we'll just... I guess this will be our last try, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna say sorry to every viewer that jumps on, but if we get banned again, I think the best thing is that we just do this one in private.
Yeah.
Going onward. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to share the link.
president's job is to keep America safe. An important part of that is to have a strong military. All three of my brothers served in the military, and I understand.
Here we go again. Like,
it's the whole. Hasn't she mentioned that a lot now? I think they.
That we have state responsibility to them, and that is not to
Let's see.
use our military to solve
Right,
problems that cannot be solved militarily. We are not winning in Afghanistan. We are not winning in the Middle East. What we need to do is we need to use all of the tools in our toolbox. We need a strong military.
Okay.
We also need a strong State Department. Those are our eyes and ears.
no, we don't. we
Lines in diplomacy. We need a strong economy and to work worldwide on that economy, and we need strong alliances. We need to know the difference between our friends and between dictators who would do us harm, and we need to be nicer to our friends than to dictators. We need not to cut and run on our allies. We need an approach that keeps us safe by using all of the tools in a measured way.
Mayor Bloomberg, voters have not heard much about your foreign policy views.
Because it doesn't have any.
Out of the Middle East.
No, you don't have to do as much as you can, but I think if we learn something from 9/11, people plan.
Oh my God! Here he goes with 9/11 again.
You have to be able to stop terrorism.
Of
and
course.
There's no guarantees that you're going to be able to do
God,
it.
here he goes
You
with.
have to have
Whoops.
some troops in places where terrorists congregate, and to not do so is just irresponsible. We shouldn't be fighting wars that we can't win. We should go to war only as a last resort. Nobody argues with that. But this is a dangerous world. And if we
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Bloomberg.
The
world is safer now than it has ever been, though.
I know. That's the sad thing. We live in such a safe world, but in order to keep control of the world that we live in, people have to constantly invent crises. Like what? Look at those people freaking out about the coronavirus who think it's virus X that's going to kill 80 million.
I'd like to go to you as the only veteran on stage. Can you weigh in on this?
Well, the first time I ever
Yeah.
set foot in South Carolina, it was stepping on
And terrorism panic. It's just a different version of this.
near Fort Jackson. And that was to get ready to go to Afghanistan, where I saw that one of the things that kept me safe, just as sure as my body armor, was the fact that the flag on my shoulder represented a country that was known to keep its word. Our allies and our adversaries knew it. The president the threats. And so the first thing we've got to do is restore the credibility of the United States. Second thing we got to do.
Here, America had a bunch of credibility when it went into Afghanistan. I mean, sorry, nope. Want to know how you restore your credibility? You stop creating situations like that.
But we do need intelligence capability. And
We have one person watching. This is good.
If you have a president who won't listen to them. Right now,
Yes.
some of the biggest threats that we face are not only things like counterterrorism, but issues like global health security and the coronavirus that rely on the ability to listen to scientists.
Time, Mr.
The
listen to
coronavirus,
our own intelligence,
Lyme
and
disease.
coordinate with an international community that this president has been doing. His idea of a
It's such a boomer joke, but
15 is really a long time. So we ask respectfully if you would all please try to keep to the time. Senator Klobuchar.
That's respectfully if you please try to keep to the time. I love the moderator roasting Buttigieg for being such a win.
yeah.
I've never broken a promise. Senator Klobuchar, as we were coming over today, there was
Biden, jeez.
about the coronavirus. And so far, there have been 2,700 deaths globally. And so far in this country, there have been no deaths. But the CDC says this: it's not a matter of if the virus will spread here, but when. The question to you is this: would you close the borders to Americans who have been exposed to the coronavirus in order to prevent an outbreak here in this country?
Well, what we have to do is make sure that we have treatment for those Americans and that they are in a quarantine situation. We don't want to expose people, but we want to give them help. And I would agree when Mayor Bloomberg said
Man,
that
it's
this president has
it's
not
too bad that
invested
we
like
got banned
he
off
should
of
have
the
in
last
budget
one as well,
cutback
because
on the CDC,
we actually had like a
cutback
couple
on the
viewers that were
international organization that
commenting
we
on
coordinate
the
with the rest
the
of
chat.
world. He hasn't yet really
Yeah. And
that was helpful
I don't know,
in
like,
order to.
But I want to take this.
It was helpful in
Well,
order to keep up with if the stream was still up or not.
I'm not going to give my website.
yeah, now we just have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
CDC.gov, so that people keep checking in and they follow the rules and they realize what they have to do if they feel sick, and they call their healthcare provider, because many doctors are saying it's just a matter of time before we're going to start seeing this here. And
You already said that.
President, what would I do? I would better.
This is a sign that Klobuchar doesn't know what she's talking about on the coronavirus, because when Klobuchar knows what she's talking about, she provides, statistics and stuff to back it up. Here she's just repeating that people don't know if the coronavirus will come to America, but it's a matter of when. Like,
yeah.
She said that, what, twice, 3 times now?
To lead again in the world.
Mr. Vice President, we reached a turning point today with the CDC, warning schools that they must prepare, that they might have to close. Members of the Trump administration saying we don't have enough medical masks if necessary. What would you do?
What we did with Ebola, I was part of making sure that pandemic did not get to the United States, saved millions of lives. And what we did, we set up.
And also, this guy is the best one on medical stuff because he's going to cure cancer.
Diseases that are pandemic diseases. We increased the budget of the CDC. We increased the NIH budget. We should, the right president today, and he's wiped all that out. We did it. We stopped it. And the second thing I point out to you is that what I would do immediately is restore the funding. He cut the funding for CDC. He tried to cut the funding for NIH. He cut the funding for the entire effort. And here's the deal. I would be on the phone with China and making it clear. We are going to need to be in your country. You have to be open. You have to be clear. We have to know what's going on. We have to be there with you and insist on it and insist
What?
to get that done. No one up here has ever dealt internationally with
Is that like a covert invasion of China? We are going to be inside your country. We're going to know what's going on. Okay. Kind of losing me there, Biden.
Great genius. Self-described. And this great genius has told us that this coronavirus is going to end in 2 months. April is the magical day that this great scientist we have in the White House has determined. I wish I was kidding. That is what he said. What do we have to do? Whether or not the issue is climate change, which is clearly a global crisis requiring international cooperation, or infectious diseases like coronavirus requiring international cooperation. We have to work and expand the World Health Organization. Obviously, we have to make sure the CDC, the NIH, our infectious departments are fully funded. This is a global problem. We've got to work with countries all over the world to solve it.
Senator, we're going to stay on the topic of foreign affairs. Margaret Brennan. Thank you, Nora. Mayor Bloomberg, you've said that President Xi Jinping of China is not a dictator and that he is responsive
Of course
to
he says
his
that.
constituents, and that the U.S. must cooperate with Beijing. How far does that go? Would you allow Chinese to build critical U.S. infrastructure?
No, I would not. And I think that the Chinese government has not been open. Their press, the freedom of press does not exist there. Their human rights record is abominable. And we should make a fuss, which we've been doing, I suppose. But we make no mistake about it. We have to deal with China if we're ever going to solve the climate crisis. He
always looks so afraid.
Well, yeah, because he has so many weaknesses. And notice how he said the freedom of press doesn't exist. Their human rights record is abominable. He never actually said that Xi Jinping was a dictator.
Yeah.
But there's no question he has an enormous amount of power. He does play to his constituency. You can negotiate with him.
But here he's going on again about playing his constituency thing to praise Xi Jinping.
To do what we want to do. Follow the rules, particularly no stealing of intellectual property. Follow the rules in terms of the trade the agreements that we have are reciprocal and go equally in both directions.
Thank you, Vice President.
Oh, okay. His sentence just stopped there.
Same question to you. Would you allow Chinese firms to build critical U.S. infrastructure?
No, I would not. And I spent more time with Xi Jinping than any world leader had by the time we left office. This is a guy who doesn't have a democratic with a small d bone in his body. This is a guy who is a thug who, in fact, has 1 million Uyghurs in reconstruction camps, meaning concentration camps. This is a guy who you see what's happening right now.
Do you have anyone I can add on Twitter?
Hong Kong. And this is a guy who I was able to convince should join the international agreement at the Paris Agreement, because guess what? They need to be involved. You can cooperate and you can also dictate exactly what they are. When in fact they said we're going to set up a no-fly zone, that you can't fly through our zone. He said, what do you expect me to do when I was over there? I said, we're going to fly right through it. We flew B-1 bombers through it. We got to make it clear. They must play by the rules. Period, period, period.
Senator Warren.
Period, period, period.
Would you allow Chinese firms to build infrastructure?
We have to be able to trust our president, because there are a lot of decisions the president makes that you just can't follow every part of that. And that's one of the reasons that we need to see any candidate's taxes. We know that Mayor Bloomberg has been doing business with China for a long time, and he is the only one on this stage who has not released his taxes. He plans to release them after Super Tuesday. It is not enough to be able to say, just trust me on this. We have a president who said he was going to release his taxes after the election and has refused to do this. No, I would not.
Okay. Mayor Bloomberg, would you like to respond?
I got into this race only 10 or 12 weeks ago. We've been working on our tax returns. I've said they'll be out. We probably have another couple of weeks left to go. We're doing it as fast as we can. We've complied with every single requirement for disclosure. And when I was mayor of New York, we had our tax returns out 12 years in a row, and we will do that in the White House.
Actually,
you can find my tax returns online right now.
Oh, Mayor Pete is still there.
I released my tax returns. That was easy to do. But I want to say something
How many years?
about foreign policy. 10 years. I want to say something about foreign policy, which is this. We keep acting as if we're in the 20th century or the 19th century. If you look at the biggest threats to the United States, we're talking right now about coronavirus that cannot be solved within the borders of the United States.
Oh, I fucking loved the Tim Pool tweet about the coronavirus.
Yeah, where he's like, it's virus X. We'll kill 80 million.
You're going to be happy that Trump built the wall.
He literally thinks this is World War Z. Yeah. And like, everyone's going to get infected by coronavirus and they're going to start America, but the wall will be there. They won't be able to get over, and they'll just mass around me.
New topic, Senator Sanders.
Aren't we lucky we listened to Trump and built the wall in time to save us from the zombie virus?
Lifting more people out of extreme poverty than any other country. You also have a track record of expressing sympathy for socialist governments in Cuba and in Nicaragua.
Oh, here it comes.
Can Americans trust
here
that
it comes.
Socialist president will not give authoritarians a free pass?
I have opposed
authoritarianism. So here's the thing.
I was really amazed.
The capitalist president that they have right now is giving authoritarians a free pass. So I don't think
No.
You got a real dictatorship there. Of course, you have a dictatorship in Cuba. What I said is what.
Who is the dictator in Cuba right now?
That Cuba made
Castro's brothers, I think.
Yes.
No, I think he resigned.
Really? Really?
It's possible.
Miguel Diaz-Canel, something like that.
Yeah, that's apparently the president.
Yeah.
Honest about American foreign policy, and that includes the fact that
yeah, but the first secretary is Raul Castro.
Yeah.
In Chile, in Guatemala, in Iran, and when dictatorships, whether it is the Chinese or the Cubans, do something good, you acknowledge that. But you don't have trade love letters.
Mr. Vice President.
Living the Cold War.
Barack Obama was abroad.
We are now at a whopping 2 people watching.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, seeing as all of our streams have been taken down, but this one is apparently doing quite well. So I think it's the video and not the audio that has been taking us down.
He also made sure to make it clear And by the way, I called to make sure that I was
Apparently, it's quite persistent.
the conversation. But the
What?
fact of the matter is, he in fact did not, has never embraced an authoritarian regime and does not now. This man said that in fact he thought it was, he did not condemn what
That
they
is
did.
untrue, categorically untrue.
What did you tell him?
I have condemned authoritarianism, whether it is the people in Saudi Arabia that the United States government has
Cuba,
loved,
Nicaragua?
Yeah.
Cuba, Nicaragua. Authoritarianism of any stripe is bad. But
Period.
that is different than saying that governments occasionally do things that are good. Look at what Barack Obama said.
Margaret,
The only way we're going to restore American credibility.
someone
Only way.
I think it's lame that it's like, oh, you're not allowed to attack Obama. He's like the perfect fucking lamb of God within the Democratic Party.
With his nostalgia for the
Yeah, I mean, I wish that Obama was regarded more as someone like Justin Trudeau is here.
Yeah.
Like, a bit more joke that anyone can go after. But unfortunately, his election did mean quite a lot to a number of African Americans because he was the first African American president. And so it's not the wisest strategy to go after Obama because he's especially beloved in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to in regards to Obama. That's the price you have to pay.
Yeah. We're down back to one watcher.
Let us be clear.
Back down. Obama endorsed Egyptian military dictatorship. Exactly.
Oh, yes, he did.
Some kind of radical communist idea. Do
Glad
we
you brought
think
this up.
raising
Let's talk about
the
that.
minimum wage to a
I'm happy
living
to respond
wage?
to the question
Do we
because
think
this is
building
really
the
important.
millions of
This is
units
really
of
important.
affordable housing
if you're
that we
gonna ask
need?
that
Do we
rhetorical
think
question, let's
raising
go behind the
taxes
filters.
on
Yeah,
billionaires
fucking
is a
beat him into a
radical
pulp.
idea?
Let's talk about
Do you
what's
think
radical
criminal
about that
justice
plan.
reform
Senator,
is a
please.
radical
Senator.
idea?
The things you
Oh,
just
look
named,
at Pete. He's such a rat.
The truth
you
is,
just named are the
Pete,
things we
that the
favor most.
American
Also,
And the funny thing is, he was saying that he was in favor of Medicare for all earlier in the race.
yeah.
So
One of my-
if Bernie Sanders is such a dreadful radical.
So one of my friends has been telling me that I was way ahead of my time when I chose my Twitter handle and my YouTube username.
Oh, because rat resistance.
Yes.
You're resisting the rat of Bloomberg
Yes.
and Biden and of Buttigieg. Sorry, I got
Yeah.
the three B's mixed up.
The embargo. I went with Barack Obama when he went to Cuba, and I seen firsthand how the Cuban people are way in front of their leaders. They like America. They want to be entrepreneurs, and the way that we embrace them and not the social.
Sure, Karen.
So Amy Klobuchar, who's the president of Cuba right now?
But to get at what we were just talking about, I think we have a huge choice. Super Tuesday states. 1/3 of America will vote. Do you want to have someone in charge of this ticket? Could I finish, Margaret?
Well, you're
you
at
want to
time.
have someone in charge of this ticket?
Never
Could I
asked.
finish, Margaret?
Never,
I like her almost sobbing.
yeah. Never asked. Just finish.
I don't think we do. I think that we can get all those bold progressive things done without having someone that is so alienating that we're going to turn off the voters that we need to bring with us.
Imagine thinking that Bernie Sanders is the alienating one.
Respond to the question that Senator Sanders.
And not someone like, I don't know, Bloomberg.
Actually, I believe are the highest up here, as a matter of fact. All right, but the point is, the way we are going to beat Trump, which is what everybody up here wants, is we need a campaign of energy and excitement. We need to have the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States. We need to bring working
And
people
no one else than
into the
Bernie can
Democratic
achieve
Party.
that.
We need to get young people.
Mhm. Can you imagine people? Wow, I'm just so excited for Bloomberg 2020. He just fills me with so much inspiration.
Bipartisan Senate Select Committee on Intelligence report concluded Russia interfered in our last presidential election, and the Obama administration.
Here's another boring question.
U.S. intelligence
Yeah.
says Russia's at it again. If it is
Oh
It's-
no,
it's
Russia's
almost-
at it again. A hostile foreign country is trying to intervolve in our process. Wow, I never would have expected that to happen.
It's not
Like
like
what-
the United States has ever done that.
And I make them
I know, like this. They're such hypocrites. In fact, if they hadn't rigged the election against the communists in Russia in 1996, then they probably wouldn't even have to be dealing with Putin right now.
Yeah.
2016 against Hillary. They were. There's no question. This man stood before the whole world, turned to the Russian leader, and said, "Why in God's
Is he
name
talking
would
about
this man
Obama?
ever interfere in our elections? Give me a break."
No,
17
okay.
intelligence agencies said he did. When we got the information, we went
No,
to the committee
no, they
in the
didn't.
Senate that's responsible for knowing these issues. And
The
doing it.
intelligence
We went to Mitch
agencies
McConnell and said,
concluded that
"Join us
like
in
fewer
pointing
and
out
fewer
what
of
is
them
happening
actually
here." He said, "No, we want no part
could
of it."
actually,
And we had
you
moved-
know,
we didn't have all the
more and more of
information at
them
that time until after the election was
withdrew
over.
their
So the
conclusion
idea
that
of
Russia
bipartisan
did
committee said we
interference.
could have done more.
Yeah, there probably was some, but it's not like Russia hacked the election. Oh my goodness, Russia will hack it again. We have to be so afraid of Russia, everyone. No, this
But
is just another thing where America's trying to do, where they're like, oh, I'm so afraid of some foreign country is going to destroy everything, when really they could look within. That's the
Yeah.
danger to their elections. The Republican Party kicking
And-
thousands of people off the voter rolls. If they want
But-
to look at election interference, look there. Look at the
Yeah.
gerrymandering. Look at the
But
corruption.
if they're afraid that a foreign nation will hack the election,
This isn't news.
I feel like the answer is pretty obvious. You know,
Paper ballots?
paper ballots.
No, but America has to be high tech, you guys.
No, we have an app.
Shadow Inc.
Oh God.
Foreign power
Ugh.
commits cyber warfare against the
We need to be careful about talking about how Shadow Inc. is an evil app-creating corporation, because if we keep talking about that, then Destiny will smell us at some point and he will jump on.
There's something wrong here. We're under
Oh,
attack, and the-
hello, Ogre. That's a long time no see.
When was the last time you saw him?
The last time I saw Ogre, wow, that was in one of the Red Eye streams that I was on. We were actually scheduled to talk about gun control, but it never happened. I think he fell out with Mad Dodge and that crew. I never really, you know, I kind of fell off that whole bandwagon, and I don't really know what happened.
The answer is it's something that we would take into consideration. But here, excuse me. But here is the point. I am very proud of being Jewish. I actually lived in Israel for some months. But what I happen to believe is that right now, sadly, tragically, in Israel, through Bibi Netanyahu, you have a reactionary racist who is now running that country.
Yes, Bernie, do it. Love it when people have the bravery to speak up about the horrible racism of the Israeli government.
The independence and security of Israel. But you cannot ignore the suffering of the Palestinian people. We have got to have a that reaches out
Exactly.
to the Palestinians and the Americans. And in answer to your question, that will come within the context of bringing nations together in the Mideast.
We have 4 watchers, and I'm super proud of that.
Here, I'll retweet the stream out again.
Cool.
See if we can get to 5.
Yeah, if you add like 4 or 5 different people, that seemed to be working. I don't know how Ogre actually found his way on Twitter. I think he follows me on Twitter. I'm not sure.
Getting something from the Israeli government, but it was done, and you're going to have to leave it there. Number 2, the only solution here is a 2-state solution. The Palestinians have to be accommodated.
Shut up, Bloomberg. Nobody's interested in what you have to say.
God gave them the same piece of land, and the answer is to obviously split it up, leave the Israeli borders where they are, try to push them to pull back some of those extra
Oh, okay.
on the other side of the wall where they've built these new communities, which they should
Okay, so Ogre, about the racism of Palestine, we're not talking about there might be racists there as well as every other place in the world. That doesn't mean that they should have their human rights stripped from them.
Yeah, they still deserve the right to vote.
Yeah.
In Israeli elections without interference, without
especially
weird
like when
spying, without
especially like when Israel is insisting on owning their land. Well, okay, then give the people that live there a right to vote.
Trump's big mistake is he keeps putting a thumb on the on just one
But
side,
you should.
and that moves the parties further away.
I am Jewish. What's going on here? This guy is crazy. Like, buddy, you do not know how much millennial Jewish people do not like Israel. Like, oh my goodness,
The thing is, there's a difference between hating Israel and hating people living in Israel and hating Jews. So you don't have to hate the people that live in Israel, and you don't have to hate Jews in order to hate the establishment of the Israel of Israel's country.
Land. Like, here's the thing: I don't necessarily believe in the concept that belongs to any ethnicity. I don't think it's a healthy concept. But if we're going down that road, like Palestine existed for thousands of years. I mean, not as an independent state, but as an ethnic reality. Yes, Palestinians have been living in that land for thousands of years, and so have many Sephardic Jews. Ashkenazi Jews are more recent immigrants to the region, coming when the Zionist movement first got its start in the early 19th century. But
I think you're triggering it.
Nuclear agreement. We should be working with Russia not only to
who owns my house?
Protection of our election. Call Vladimir Putin out for what he is.
Well,
that takes down planes, that poisons dissidents.
What?
But then also
You are a dangerous fool. All right.
Well,
START treaty and the other arms negotiations that must
There's a difference between being anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist. I'm just going to put that out there.
I don't get this conversation. Like,
no.
Just because I don't own my house, first of all. Like, I'm 19, buddy. Calm down. Second of all,
give him legitimacy without any.
You're entitled to your opinion. You think I'm a fool. I think you're blinded by propaganda. That's fine. You know, every opinions on the internet, and you can think I'm a dangerous fool all your life, and I'll still have thousands of more followers than you. Thousands of more people will listen to my perspective, and you can continue to rage in the mentions and scream and shout about Jewish houses.
I would be in Beijing. I would be.
Frederick is on your side, though.
Speaking with Xi Jinping.
Yeah, well, Frederick Bastiat maybe, disagrees with me on a lot of things. Faith guy,
I'd make it clear to China. We are going to continue.
You attacked my people. What did I say against Jewish people? I said nothing against Jewish people. I criticized the state of Israel. In particular, the state which treats Sephardi Jews and Ethiopian Jews like human garbage, that openly treats, refugees from Africa like human garbage. It's a racist state. I'm sorry, it is.
Okay, so Ogre, you're dunking on the 5 people watching. I want to point out that my channel is tiny, and that's why we have few people watching.
Yeah, like, we're not streaming on my channel, buddy. I mean, look up what Netanyahu has tried to do. He has tried to stop Palestinians from voting with intimidation measures, including cameras at polling stations, which was heavily criticized in the Israeli press. Like, buddy.
Anyway, let's not focus too much on that. We have a debate to look at.
Yeah, I mean, he can rage off all he wants. He's kind of amusing.
Stand with the people of Idlib, who are being targeted, as you said, in a brutal fashion by a dictatorship that has already been so brutal for so many years. And this is one of the reasons we have got to change the balance of power in the region, because the president has basically vanished from the stage when it comes to even playing a role in the future there. Turkey, Russia, Iran.
So he wants to get more involved in the Middle East. Great. That's a winning election proposal.
Oh, yeah.
More American invasion. Wonderful.
Hey, if we want more American intervention in the Middle East, then we should just stick with Trump, I guess.
Now, I want to come back to something, and I promise it relates to international affairs, because Senator Sanders asked me a question earlier. He asked the question of whether healthcare for everybody is a radical idea. And it's not, which is why I'm for it. Very much in a different way, though. What is a radical idea is completely eliminating all private insurance. And part of how you know it is that no industrialized country has gone that far. He and I both like to talk about Denmark, for example. But even in Denmark, they have not abolished the possibility of private insurance. So this is
no, but that's for elective procedures.
Acceptable in Denmark, the country, let alone imagining how that's going to fly in Denmark, South Carolina.
Thank you, Mayor. Senator Warren, would you like to respond? What would you do? What would
It's so
Senator Warren do
smarmy.
to stop the mass murder?
Yeah, well, the thing with Buttigieg is that he's trying to project something that he thinks is attractive to liberal voters. He's trying to project Obama.
Yeah.
Work with our allies on this, but this is not a moment for military intervention.
Problem for Pete is that he is way too white and way too gay to be Obama.
When we see a military problem.
Well, I don't know if he is very queer. Like, I suppose he is queer in the sense that he has a queer relationship, but he doesn't. Like, I have a feeling that if being a gay man doesn't preclude him from being the kind of charismatic unity figure that Obama was. The thing that prevents him from being Obama is his lack of vision. Like, hate Obama all you want. Obama did have vision for the country.
Yeah.
What does Buttigieg have at this point? Bernie Sanders is bad and divisive. And where is the vision forward?
Senator Sanders, how much you enjoy that. We're going to ask you when we come back from the break.
All right, they're doing a break, so let's address the chat for a moment.
He wants me to be educated because he thinks that I let my sub count inflate my brain or something. No, listen here. The reason I brought up my sub count is because I feel like you think that you can talk down to me, that you can say whatever you want, and that's fine. You have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want about me. You can say I'm a bitch or a cunt or whatever. It makes you feel happy. You can say I'm a self-hating Jew. It doesn't really bother me. But I have any obligation to treat your opinions with any sort of respect or recognition. At the end of the day, I want you to understand that you're a lonely 45-year-old man screaming at a 19-year-old at 9:51 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Isn't there anything better you can be doing with your life?
Oh man, I love doing these streams with you. I was saying, you talk down to me. I never said bitch or cunt.
You project your rage onto me. My voice is shaking out of laughter, buddy.
Okay,
That's
so
funny. We should have him on as a guest because he's hilarious. I love jokers.
Yeah.
A coward. Yes, I'm a coward.
So
I have been married for 26 years. Whoa. Okay, I don't want to speak ill of the man's wife or husband.
Yeah. Oh well. Don't feed the trolls or the ogres, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In this case.
Here's the thing. I could tell you. Oh, whatever. We didn't really try to ignore you as much as we tried to focus on the debate we're actually here to cover. But that's
like here's the thing. You wanted to derail this as a completely separate topic on, Israeli-Palestine occupation and the Israeli-Palestine conflict, which is a complicated topic that deserves an in-depth conversation. But fundamentally, that's not what either of us are here to do right now. And so if we were being more flippant than usual, it's probably because we wanted to move on to what we were here to focus on.
Yeah. Okay, Rat. If you like, I can go. No, here's the thing. Ogre, you can stay. It's fine. it's fine to be engaged with the chat, and I honestly enjoy having you here. It's just I'm just pointing out that the reason that we stopped focusing on you was the fact that we are actually trying to focus on the debate as well. But I don't have a problem with having a conversation. Now, I strongly believe that you're wrong. My views are obviously way more aligned with her views than yours, but that's how it is. Maybe we should just invite. We should do like we did with the what was it, the Iowa caucus. We should just invite on June and Bosch. They would at least bring with them a large base of people. But
more people watching.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that I would be happy to come by, but being attacked from my agent called Lonely Holmes.
I didn't attack you for your age. I just pointed out that it's a bit weird to get so invested in a 19-year-old's opinions, and that I think that if you're getting so upset about like what someone thinks, then maybe there's a better way to spend your afternoon. Like, obviously, I don't want you to waste your Tuesday nights getting angry at me.
I do find this amusing. Then again, Ogre is known for sort of...
I love how Frederick Bastiat is making actually interesting observations, and then we hear a bunch of like misspelled, like cry-typing tweets coming out of Ogre as we continue on the conversation. So Frederick Bastiat says, I really wish JFK resurrected. Both articulate a strong moral vision. So Bastiat is, I think, the first person I've met who's actually a supporter of Buttigieg. So evidently what Buttigieg is projecting in terms of the Obama persona is working for him. Now, I find that interesting because I don't actually find Buttigieg to be a particularly strong moral presence. I mean, like, theoretically, he could have been had he stuck to his earlier campaign before this centrist pivot in, I think it was around October when he started attacking Elizabeth Warren. He decided to triangulate a bit, move himself between Warren and the more right-wing candidates that were running for the Democratic presidency by criticizing Medicare for all and such.
Number two, the South Carolina motto is this: while I breathe, I hope.
Ogre, my advice to you is to not let her get under your skin. She's taking some glib jabs at you, and you're taking some jabs at her. Just, live and let live.
This is the internet, buddy. Like, this is how it goes. I'm sorry. Like, if it's too hot in the kitchen, you can always log off. We will not judge you.
All right. Let's see what Steyer has to say.
No matter what. All right. Thank you, Mr. Steyer.
The biggest misconception is that I'm boring, because I'm not. Then I would say that my motto is the words of one of my political mentors, Paul Wellstone, who's sadly no longer with us. And he said that politics is about improving people's lives. And that's been my life from when my grandpa
then
was
why aren't you
in the unions,
supporting Bernie?
Politics made those minds safer. And when my dad needed treatment, it was there for him.
He meant improving the lives of the politicians.
Yeah.
It's about improving their lives.
How much do you think she improved the life of her intern that she threw the stapler at?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Or that poor black boy that she had locked up for years on a murder charge that ended up being completely false.
Let's see Biden. What's Biden's motto?
When you get knocked down, get up, and everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity, no matter what, no matter who they are.
This is, by the way, a bullshit question.
Everyone should be represented. No one's better than me, and I'm no better.
This is the sort of fluffy questions I really hate.
Yeah. It's the same with the other debates when they have done the whole who is the first person that you would call or stuff like that. It's completely useless.
Vice President.
Like, is anyone? Wow, I didn't know you'd call that person. Now I definitely feel like I'm going to vote for you for president. It's just a feeble occasion for the citizens to showcase how #relatable they are to the youth.
Yeah.
It's.
I would have thought that Biden's motto would be like no malarkey.
Here tonight, this is the idea I'm talking about a radical. They're not. In one form or another, they exist in countries all over the world. Healthcare is a human right. We have the necessity, the moral imperative to address the existential threat of climate change. Other countries are doing that. We don't need more people in jail disproportionately African American than any other country on earth. Not a radical idea. The motto, the saying that moves me the most is from Nelson Mandela. And Mandela said, everything is impossible until it happens.
Oh, yeah.
And that means if we have the guts to stand up to powerful special interests, we're doing phenomenally well. If we can bring working people together, black and white and Latino, we can create a nation.
All right, Senator.
Where all people have a good standard of living.
Senator Warren.
I love how Bernie takes fluffy questions and fills them full of substance.
Well, I suppose
Just love it.
is that I don't eat very much. In fact, I
Ogre, it was nice having you here in the chat. I can tell you that she is actually quite an intelligent girl, and I really enjoy streaming with her. So,
girl is full of venom and hate.
A fighter.
Oh, I love this guy.
Your new
I'll definitely have.
Your new theme song should be Eminem with Venom.
Toxic Britney Spears.
About how we treat other people and how we lift them up. That is why I am in this fight. That is why I am running to be president. And it is why I will be an effective president.
You should drop out.
Mayor Buttigieg.
Oh, Buttigieg. What?
Well, I think the biggest misconception is that I'm not passionate. I get that I'm.
Listen to this. Cry baby fool can only insult and look for a white nigget to save her. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you do these clowns? They're so funny.
Yeah. We lost a viewer, and I have a feeling I know who it is.
I try to live by, many of which come from scripture.
Oh, let's see. Oh no.
I would never impose my.
See, the funny thing about Buttigieg is, despite being, the only gay candidate, he's also the most overtly.
If you would be a leader, you must
be
a servant. And of course, the teaching, not unique to the Christian tradition, but a big part of it, that holds that we are to treat others as we would be treated. And when I think about everything at stake, from racial and economic justice,
that's actually interesting because memes run off. Oh well. I'm sorry, Ogre. You said bye, so I thought you left.
As I go through this campaign and as I go through life.
Thank you.
No, he cannot resist staying more of my beautiful speech. He's just enamored.
Oh.
He's enamored with me.
Bloomberg, what's his motto? Money, money, money.
I've trained for this job for a while, and when I get
bah humbug
something rather than just talk about it.
What is your motto?
I like how he says.
Very much.
He says.
So Bloomberg, what is your motto? The black people
I'm
are
tired
less
of talking
important
about
than the
it.
white people.
One more break. Time flies when you're having fun. You're watching the Democratic debate.
Wait, what?
Right here on CBS.
Okay.
Oh, it's another break
So
in the
they
debate.
came back from a break, only to ask them what their motto was, and then they
Went back to a break.
got
You can
another
tell
break.
that they're milking it for every single advertiser dollar that they can. They know people want to watch this stuff, and so they are desperate to drag it out as long as possible.
Okay, so Bastian, evoking religiosity is a powerful appeal to black voters. Yeah, except it's not working. Pete has zero black support. It's
Yeah, I feel like he could have improved upon it. First of all, had he not had the horrible record of racism with South Bend in Indiana. Two, if he had made much more of an outreach to Black voters before now, because let's be honest. I mean, most of the people I've met from the Buttigieg campaign that I've tried to talk to about this issue, their answer is basically, well, Black voters just don't want to vote for Buttigieg because they're homophobic. We shouldn't even bother trying to court their vote. Like, it's not an appealing attitude that I've encountered. And, maybe perhaps Buttigieg is trying to reach out through his religiosity. On Buttigieg, this is the one thing about Buttigieg I think is somewhat sincere. I think that he is quite a religious person.
Oh, yeah. So do I.
And although, this is something American... Oh, it's back?
Oh, no. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run to the toilet real quick. So you'll get to address the chat directly. And if they're back on before I'm back, then, do some commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back in like a minute.
Yeah. Okay, take as long as you need. Be back soon. Ta-ta. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I know it's been a rather difficult night getting this on the air. I mean, I understand that copyright is important to an extent, but honestly, I feel like the copyright rules on YouTube are just insane, and scattershot and shoddy way that there's no real point. They really should just open them up a bit. And in regards to copyright in general, I understand why it was introduced in the first place, to defend the rights of struggling artists and inventors who kept having their inventions stolen by unscrupulous parties who would then profit off of them. But nowadays, honestly, I feel like copyright is outdated. I feel like copyright should be moved down to like maybe lasting 40 years or something, as opposed to like almost a century now that it lasts before things can tumble into the public domain. It's just absurd.
Continue in a moment from the spin room here on CBS and on our streaming news service, CBSN. There'll be more about the debate as well on your late local news on this CBS station, and first thing tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
I'm getting on a plane right now, going to New York. I'll be there.
From all of us here at CBS News.
All right, people, I'm back.
Good night.
Oh, wait. What? Is the debate over? Huh. All right.
So, what did we think of the debate? Unfortunately, we missed large chunks of it because of the difficulties of getting the stream together.
Yeah.
What we did saw, I feel like Bloomberg once again continued with his abysmal streak of not being able to project any charisma, of just being an exceptionally easy target. Anyone who tried to make an attack on Bloomberg probably boosted their chances, because Bloomberg just falls apart at the slightest touch. Because, well, honestly, he doesn't belong in the race. He is a Republican. He should be running in the Republican primary.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Up until this point, he hasn't been a Republican, so. So far, this debate was horrible. It was horrible in so many ways. The moderators were trash.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, it was a little bit, it was a little bit more heated. But, okay, so Kyle Kalinske is saying, CBS took a break to come back and say, LOL, never mind, we out.
I mean, it's true. Like, what was the point of that break? Just more milking of the money.
Yeah. Why the fuck would CBS not tell us the debate was done until after the ad break? Fucking skinflints. # Dem Debate.
They wanted to make as much money as possible. And like the moderators, I really hate this trend in modern debating to have completely ineffective moderators, so you create as an exciting show as possible for the audience instead of, a clear structure where, the audience can actually hear what people are saying. And appreciate their positions on different things. Instead, what you have is a chaotic shouting match where a moderator will eventually turn off the switch and then move on to the next hot button issue to start a new screaming match. It's really boring, and it's sacrificing informative politics for cheap showbiz.
Yeah. Okay, so Emma Bigland has done her attempt to rank the people, the debaters. Let's see. This was by far the worst Dem debate. Total shit show. There are no winners. Everyone did average or below average, but there are certainly losers. Here's my attempted ranking. Number 1, Sanders. Number 2, Klobuchar. Number 3, Warren. Number 4, Buttigieg. 5, Bloomberg. 6, Steyer. 7, Biden. Just awful. I don't know. I think Biden, honestly, in the first round, he did okay.
Yeah, I feel like Biden was more present for this debate than he has been for some of the other ones. In all the other debates, I feel like he was always a bit more checked out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, what I see with Biden, and I'm not sure if I refuse to believe that I'm the only one seeing this, but he has this thing where he's getting fired up and he starts talking, and then suddenly his brain can't connect the rest of the sentence, and then he stops up, even though he is really fired up, and then he just stops talking,
stutters.
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah, it is a very strange little state of events. He will start yelling a bit, and then he'll get halfway through a thought. It will grind to a halt. A new thought will come into his head. He'll kind of mutter that out, and then his whole little spiel will come to a lurching halt, and then they'll have to move on to someone else. Yeah. Like, it is a very strange, and he alternates between this hyper aggressive state and then this kind of mumbly, befuddled, am I in the old folks' home sort of persona.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like this wasn't the debate that I think a lot of the moderates were hoping for, because they were hoping to knock Bernie out. I don't think any of them really delivered a conclusive hit on any of Bernie Sanders' policies. There was no memorable lines from the moderates this debate. There was nothing particularly catchy against Sanders, and they kind of needed it at that point, because South Carolina is coming on. And I do agree with Bastiat. I feel like if Bernie Sanders gets in, he needs to pick a much younger VP.
Because, I'm hoping for Nina Turner at this point.
Nina Turner, or someone like, here's the thing, I keep wondering, does Bernie Sanders need to kind of solidify the more centrist wing of the Democratic Party in his VP pick, since the vice president isn't a post with a whole bunch of power? Would we just be good with having a bunch of progressives appointed in, to run all the offices?
Here's the thing.
Positions. Would that work out better?
Yeah. So here's the thing with the VP. The VP is the tiebreaker in the Senate? Or is it in the
Yeah, so obviously you don't want to pick somebody too moderate, because you still need to be able to rely on them for a tiebreaker. And I think Nina Turner would be good, because he has a lot of rapport with Nina Turner. Both of them seem to get along pretty well. The only problem is I feel like it would rub salt in the wounds of the whiny wine moms who have been defeated. And unfortunately, you do need those people to vote. It would be unideal if 20% of the Democratic Party backed Trump because they were so butthurt that Bernie Sanders won and not Hillary 2020.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, VP breaks Senate ties. So you don't want a VP that you can't trust to actually follow your vision. And that's the problem with having a too moderate VP. So I don't know, who would be like the worst VP that Bernie could choose? Bloomberg.
Yeah, I mean, I I don't see that ever happening because Bloomberg is like diametrically opposed to everything Bernie Sanders stands for.
Yeah. Did you see Pete?
That would work so poorly because Trump would just be able to play all the clips of Pete attacking Sanders' agenda and say, even his VP doesn't believe in him.
Yeah.
You know.
God, I have it, Beto O'Rourke.
I just want to be in it, man.
or
Sanders, I really can't be.
Oh, what was the name of that other guy? The surfer bro?
Bennett. Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett from VP. I don't know.
I really like that Sanders want to legalize marijuana.
up until the what can I say? Up until the whole sexism thing with Warren, I would say that Warren would probably be the wisest pick.
The thing with Warren that makes her somewhat problematic is, not only the native stuff, which the Democrats are already kind of having problems with the native vote. Like I think it was kind of almost evenly split between them and Trump last time. So that's probably not a good idea to exacerbate that with someone who's so obviously trying to appropriate native identity. But the other thing with Warren is that the governor of the state of Massachusetts is a Republican. And in the American system, if a senator vacates their post, the governor has the power to appoint a new senator to take their place. So you'd be giving Republicans a free senator.
Yeah. I used to say Tulsi, but
she's way too unpopular.
Yeah.
She's extremely unpopular.
Yeah.
And I really think she messed up by voting present on the Trump impeachment. I mean, I don't even know, who is that supposed to be for? Like, if you wanted to really appease I'm really anti-impeachment crowd, you should have voted against. If you wanted to win, the majority of Democrats who supported impeachment, you would have voted for impeachment.
Yeah.
By voting present, she pleases no one. And in general, she's just been running a really weird campaign.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she started out stronger than she currently is on a lot of positions. Now, granted, we haven't really heard too much from her lately, which is not necessarily her fault, but it's, she's polling at like 0.1% at this point. And
yeah, she's pulling in dead last.
Yeah.
And this is a race that includes Klobuchar and Steyer.
Yeah.
So that's not a good sign. I honestly, at this point, after the results in Iowa and New Hampshire, I would have dropped out. There's no point in sticking around at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, Tulsi Gabbard. It's pointless. Like, if you see yourself not even cracking 5% in the two first states.
Yeah.
What's the point in sticking around?
Yeah. Even though
she didn't even crack 1% in Nevada.
Yeah, she's hot. Yeah, well, she is.
She is a very attractive woman. She is a very attractive woman, but there needs to be more qualifications to be president. Otherwise, I could just waltz down and seize the presidency myself. Wouldn't that be glorious?
I think you should.
I mean, it would certainly save America a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just being run by Canadians.
Who could you like? I think Nina Turner would be the best pick for VP, and then he could nominate Cornel West for the Supreme Court. That would be great.
Oh, that would really upset the conservatives. But with regards to VP, I don't know. I was thinking someone more like Stacey Abrams, if we wanted to go more on the route of trying to appease the moderate wing of the party, because she's someone who's more on the moderate side of the party, but she's also not extremely toxic, like say a Nina Tandon or
he could also go for Gillibrand, maybe.
Oh yeah, Kirsten Gillibrand. She exists, and New York, so there's not really any risk of going with her. I don't know if she'd add too much to the ticket, though. She didn't really make much of an impact during the presidential election.
No.
Meanwhile, like Stacey Abrams was a hot card for, I think she was running in Georgia, right? And she almost beat Brian Kemp, and he had to resort to purging 100,000 people off the voter rolls in order to win the election. So I think that with Stacey Abrams' profile, but also not being excessively toxic politically, I think she could make a good compromise candidate if we wanted to go the let's appease the centrist wing of the party for a VP.
Okay, so imagine this one. Bernie Sanders with his VP Noam Chomsky. the combined age of like 282 in the presidential ticket. That would be great. But are they hot like Tulsi? No one's hot like Tulsi. Tulsi's like the hottest one. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Maybe I just have my mind set on Nina Turner, because she's a really great speaker, and she has a lot of the right policy ideas.
I feel like she has that. She definitely has that going for her. I only worry about, there's still the centrist voters and they need to be appeased. But some part of me is like, maybe we can get off on just radicalizing people who are more centrist, as opposed to just trying to cater to the establishment.
Also, I think that the centrists are more likely to be the blue no matter who kind of people. So I have a feeling that more centrists would turn out to vote for Bernie than progressives would turn out to vote for Pete.
Or Bloomberg. Well, here's the thing. Like, you don't even have to be particularly left-wing to have a problem with Bloomberg. Like, you just have to not be a horrible human being.
Yes.
Like... Does he have a redeeming quality? Like, seriously, is there anything good about Bloomberg?
He believes climate change is real, I think.
I mean, like, at that point, like, isn't I sometimes forget how far right American politics are. And they just, like, even that is considered, wow, that's so left-wing. What a left-wing position, Bloomberg.
Yeah. I just have to
even believing the science around climate change.
I just have to check my bank account for a second. Just give me 1 sec. All right, so it turns out that we are endorsing Bloomberg. No, I don't know. The thing is that the progressive side and the more centrist side, they're so fractured at this point. And Elizabeth Warren is a big reason for that to happen, because she would, until she started attacking Bernie, she would be sort of the missing link-ish person that would be able to sort of...
But have you noticed that Elizabeth Warren has kind of paid off the Bernie attacks of late? I feel like she realized that was a failed strategy. She tried it in one debate where she's like, "Are you calling me a liar on national TV?" But after that, she's kind of backed off because it didn't really work out.
Yeah, problem is that she has...
Voltaire Bastiat, he says, "Too bad Mayor Pete is closer to Nixon out of the DNC candidates." I can honestly see that, and it's kind of scary.
Wait, isn't he supporting?
What you have to understand about Frederick Voltaire Bastiat is that he thought that there was a lot to admire about Nixon.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah, I honestly don't necessarily understand that perspective because as far as I know, Nixon was like the most infamously corrupt U.S. president. Like, he almost got impeached for his corruption. But I think that Voltaire Bastiat preaches Nixon's approach to foreign policy a lot.
All right. The DNC is over. Nothing to see here. All dead on arrival.
Well, that's the declaration of the rightist. You know, you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people read into what they see rather than what is real.
As far as I remember, Ogre is a Trump supporter. You might correct me if that's wrong, but that's, and you know, I'm not taking a Trump supporter's word on how the DNC is doing. With that said, the DNC,
I mean, the DNC is
really
awful.
doing good. Yeah, they are.
Like,
but the Democratic Party in and of itself, it has some good, it has some bad. It's not a great party by any stretch of the imagination. He was anti-conservative Republican.
He's right in the sense that Nixon he did sponsor some of the more progressive legislation. Like, I think that he was the one responsible for the Clean Air Act, and he was also quite big on being heavily regulating the economy, mostly to reduce inflation. He introduced price fixing, which was a terrible idea. Nixon's economics were a bit of a mess, but I mean, not as bad as a mess of his foreign policy. But as a troll like me, we just subscribe to different Velociraptors. Yeah. I think Memes subscribes to Jordan Peterson's Velociraptor-y. Raptor-y? I don't know. How do you turn raptor into a
verb?
A noun.
No.
Verb, yes. Adjective? Maybe. I don't know. It's too late. Anyway, I feel like since the debate is over, the stream itself must be over.
Yes. So I'm going to tell the two remaining people, if you aren't subscribed to me already, please do so. I would really appreciate
to
that.
Also subscribe to me if you are subscribed to me already, which I think you both are.
Yeah. So this was really, it was more fun when, you know, before our streams got taken down. But you know what? I had fun in the end. This was great. Follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us if you haven't already. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.